train to the plastic underground. Approaching the station, please stand away from the platform edge. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Plastic Underground. Can you believe that 12 years ago, Skyrim came out? I can't believe that. Yeah, in a couple days. So today's video is Thursday, and I believe Saturday will be the 12-year anniversary, November 11th. So I wanted to do something kind of cool. I made this little like incense burner a long time ago, but I kind of like revamped my design from it. So I made like the little fireplace from Skyrim with like a little LED in it for like the fire. And you know, I made it a long time ago, but I had to like hand sculpt all the stuff. But now obviously like I 3D printed all the cool stuff. So yeah, it came out pretty cool. Here you go. It's the little like Hearthstone like house type fireplace from Skyrim. It's got a little fire in there, and like on top you can put your incense and burn incense, and like smoke comes out of the top, and yeah, it's pretty fun. And obviously like the funnest part is to decorate the top of the fireplace. So yeah, I got all these little cool Easter eggs and stuff from the game. And, you know, I got a little Vault Boy up there because he's my favorite. And the thing I like the most is probably like the dragon skull with the dragon scroll in his mouth. I kind of took that from like Kung Fu Panda. So yeah, there you go. Let me show you guys how I made it. This is all something different for the channel. It's not foam. This is all clay, and all the little pieces and stuff are all 3D prints. So let me show you how I made it. All right, so I'm gonna start off with some aluminum foil to make like the structure of this fireplace. So just take some aluminum foil off and just kind of fold it square. And you can see there, I kind of drew up these quick little like patterns. These like, basically they're just like guides and references. So I can kind of squish the aluminum foil into shape and check them against my pattern just to make sure everything is staying the same. And I had some extra on the bottom, so I cut that off. And then that piece I cut off actually ends up being like perfect for the like side there, like the arm that the piece of wood sits on top of. So I ended up using that. Using a little bit of hot glue. Always works pretty good for tin foil or aluminum foil, whatever you want to call it. Aluminium foil. And just glue those together, and then I make a second one of those. So now I have the two side pieces. So now I make the back. And I kind of do it the same way. I make this rectangle, then I try to like really like flatten it out and make it like thinner and wider.
Now I need to make kind of the base where the rocks sit around the base to hold all the stuff inside the fire pit. So I rolled the aluminum foil up into kind of like a little snake, and I just kind of start shaping it. And again, this is where your like pre-drawn pattern comes in handy, because now you can kind of like shape this and keep checking that it's the right shape for your fireplace. And then I just slice off any of the excess. Then I can go ahead and start gluing everything together. Glue the base to the side wall first. Then I go ahead and glue the back on, like one side at a time. Then I glue the other side on. Kind of like push it in place, make sure that it's lined up, and then you can kind of like squeeze it and kind of manipulate it to the overall shape that you want. Make sure everything is like lined up and parallel, that kind of stuff. This is where the actual like incense is going to sit. So I just put this little thick piece of aluminum foil in here as like a little shelf. This bottom piece here, this goes to cap off the like the opening, so it just acts kind of like a framework. It kind of holds the sides together, and it makes it so it looks like there's an opening there underneath the fireplace. This is just some thinner aluminum foil, and this gets glued on the top just to kind of cap this whole section off and make it solid for the clay to sit on. Then I glue the whole fireplace on top of just a chunk of cardboard I had. This kind of does the whole base, gives it like a flat surface to sit on. And I just go ahead and cut the excess off. So this is a little cheap candle, like from the dollar store, little LED candle. I think it's shaped like a star because it's like for Christmas time. But I buy these at the dollar store all the time. They're like super cheap. It comes with the LED and the battery, and I just take them apart and use the LED. The other cool thing too is if you have a regular LED, if you wire it to that LED, it does the same flicker effect. So you can add a couple fires, like a couple LEDs that do the same like pattern, which is kind of cool. And it's definitely worth the $1. I think you get like 3 in a pack for $1, so it's pretty good. This is just some cheap Sculpey that I've had for a long time. I used to do a lot with clay, and then I kind of like stopped doing a lot with clay. Having a 3D printer kind of makes it so you can do all that stuff a lot easier. So, and I've never been like good at sculpting. Honestly, I've never been happy with any like of the sculpts I do. So yeah, so I coat the whole thing with a thin layer of clay to give it a good base. And this is just a scrap piece of aluminum foil. I wrap that in clay, and I use my ruler and the desk, and I just keep flattening like every side until this is a perfect rectangle. And that's going to be your ledge there. What is it called on a fireplace? It's not a banister. It's a mantle. That's the word. Yeah. So then I just use this little sculpting tool, and I just start like carving lines in just to make it look like it's wood grain. I pop that all into the oven on like 120 degrees for like 20 minutes is what I did, and it worked pretty good. So now the fireplace has this whole like base, like skim coat. And now what I do is I start taking more Sculpey, and I go around and I separate it, and I get all these little like different shaped balls so that I can start putting these on. And I just put like one on, and I just kind of I keep pressing it until it is like flat, or flatter, not like super flat, but. And I just do that with all of these, and I try to do like different sizes, different shapes, just to make it look like big pieces of like cobblestone that like were used to make this fireplace. And this is kind of a tedious process, honestly. This is the part that like takes the longest. I remember from the last time I did this, because then I go back through with this little ball shaper tool, and I kind of like round out all of the corners of the stones to make them like flat and kind of like curve over instead of just being like a straight like edge on them. And it takes a bit. This is also kind of like separating each stone from each other so that you kind of see the grout lines underneath. And then I got this stiff brush here, and I just go around and I just stipple all the stones. And this just adds a little bit of texture, kind of gets rid of your fingerprints, and gives it kind of like that little grainy texture, which is I like. Yep, so you just keep going. You do the whole fireplace, and then the stones in the front here kind of done the same way. These are kind of like bigger stones, and I keep these ones smooth. I don't stipple these ones. I want these ones to kind of look like larger like river stones. Something smooth, something like not so textured for the front of the fireplace, where you're going to be kind of like kneeling over to put the wood in the fire or whatever. I think in game there's a big like cooking pot in the front here that like sits on there. And so yeah, I just overall I just want there to be a different texture between the two stones. So I think that kind of helps add contrast and a little bit of difference in the two. So yeah, same process. Just go through and stick all those clay pieces on there, and just kind of shape them a little better. But then I just go through with my tool and I smooth them out pretty good. So now I give everything, after it comes out of the oven, I give everything a base coat in some black acrylic paint. This is just some black acrylic paint and a little bit of water, just to kind of thin it a little bit. And with this coat, I'm just making sure that I get inside all the texture of these stones and all of the grout, and pretty much base coat everything. So once that base coat is dry, I go through here with some darker gray. And I just start brushing this on. And I'm trying to get like almost full coverage of this color. It's not like the black. I'm not trying to get it in every single tiny like texture and nook and cranny. But I want the whole thing to be this base color. Like even the inside and stuff. And you can leave most of the inside the black. It's going to be dark in there, so you're not going to see it anyway. Plus also the dark black makes it look like soot. That kind of builds up inside the fire pit. So it kind of helps sell that look. I go through on top when that's dry, and I dry brush some lighter gray. I think this is the same gray I used, but that base coat of the gray, I added black to it. So this is the same shade of gray. It's just the base coat without the black in it, so it's a little lighter. And just go through and I dry brush and kind of scrub that in, kind of like all over the place. And yeah, you can see how those stones in the front there have a different texture. And I really like the way those look. Honestly, I like the little grooves and stuff. I think they came out looking like how I wanted them to. So then after the stone is all painted, you can go through with some brown and paint your oh man, I just remembered the name of it and I forgot it. Oh wow, man, my brain is not working this morning. Yeah, so you paint the wood on the top. I use some just brown base here, just some dark brown base, and when that is all painted in, I will go back over with some lighter browns and some tans just to kind of add some weathering and try to make it look a little bit more realistic, you know. So this is it's not really like a dry brush technique because there's more paint on my brush than if you're dry brushing. This is kind of like a medium brush. This is kind of like you're using some paint here. This is a dry brush. So on the edges here, I wanted to use a really light color. So it looked like, this is kind of like where it was chopped down. And I wanted that wood to look a little bit whiter or lighter. I think that kind of sells the look there. It's one of those things you can spend a lot of time on this, but you're just going to be putting stuff on it, so you're not really going to see it anyway. And yeah, so that being said, everything I wanted to put on this came off of one print. I got a lot of little goodies that I found on Thingiverse. And yeah, I printed them all out. So now I just gotta pop them off the plate and clean them in some isopropyl. I have my like wash and cure thing, but for stuff this small, I fill this little bucket with alcohol just because all these little pieces are pretty small. And the grate on the wash and cure station is kind of big, so this works just as good for me. I also, for like little stuff like this, I like using this this knife instead of the big like scraper.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
Yeah, so I lost my sweet roll. I had to like crawl around on the floor and look for it, and I ended up finding it, which was kind of crazy. That's destiny, to find your sweet roll. So there's all the stuff out of the alcohol bath. Don't pay any attention to those skeleton key. Those did not work how I wanted them to. And yeah. So while I'm painting all this little stuff, I just wanted to say quickly that like I really appreciate everybody who watches my videos. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and it's really, really crazy to me. It's kind of like a goal I had when I started the page, but I try to focus more on just making like cool videos that like I enjoy making, and the fact that like people watch my videos and comment, and when you guys like comment me or message me or comment on my videos saying like thanks for the pattern or thanks for the video, like I'm gonna make this, it really helped me. Like that is like so cool to me. Like having you guys use my patterns, and if I've inspired you to make something, like that's really, really awesome. And that to me means more than like anything else. And yeah, so it's just really cool, and I thank everybody who watches my videos, and all of you guys that like come back weekly to watch my videos. It's not always weekly because sometimes life is crazy, but I try to always put a couple videos out a month. It's kind of been my goal lately, instead of weekly, just because things are, busy. But yeah, I really, really, really appreciate it. And also, like, I'll take this time to say, like, if you guys have not subscribed, just consider subscribing to the channel. It kind of helps me out. You guys have heard it all before. YouTube pushes your videos. If you have more subscribers, you pop up in people's like recommended stuff, and just helps get the word out. So yeah, so there you go. There's my speech. So back to the build. There's a lot of painting going on. All these little miniatures. I've discovered lately that I really enjoy painting miniatures, and that kind of has led to another like project for the channel. Like I'm gonna be starting like a little tabletop game. Not anytime like super soon, but I've been really digging into the world of like miniature painting and minis and terrain bases and that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of guys on YouTube that do that I follow. And so I don't know if I'll be recording like a ton of that kind of stuff, just because there is so much of that stuff already on YouTube, and I'm not like breaking any new ground. I'm just kind of like doing what I've seen be done. So I don't know. My stuff will be more like Fallout related, so maybe I will make videos, because there's not like a ton of that stuff on YouTube. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I really enjoy painting miniatures. It's kind of relaxing, like sometimes I do it like right before bed. Like I'll come in and I'll paint a little bit here and there, and I just enjoy it. I've always enjoyed miniatures, like model train sets and that kind of stuff, and just making little worlds that look like they're inhabited and super realistic and really detailed and that kind of stuff. I've always loved that stuff. So yeah, so I will shut up for a minute and let you watch the rest of these little painting details on all this little Skyrim stuff. Alright, I'm back. So, now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of wiring that fireplace LED here. I had this old like battery pack. I think this came out of a flashlight a long time ago. And yeah, it worked pretty good. So I just soldered that LED to this little battery pack, which had a switch already built in, which is always helpful when the thing you're using has a switch on it and you don't have to wire a switch to. So yeah, and then I just kind of quickly glue this battery pack onto the back because I didn't know what else to do with it. Kind of keeps it away, keeps it hidden. I always keep, I'm a hoarder for sure, but I always keep like little packaging from stuff that I buy, especially like clear packaging. So that's what I used here. I cut like a little fire, like a little flame out of there, some packaging, and then I'm just gluing it in there. I use a little bit of like sticky tack onto my knife so that I could like stick it to my knife to like reach it in there because I didn't have any like small tweezers or anything. But yeah, that ended up working pretty good. And I can go ahead and start gluing all my stuff on. So I start with the dragon skull. I put that up in the top. I make sure that's sitting up there pretty good. Glue my stone of Baronzai up there, and this statue from the Thieves Guild mission. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like the Gray Fox statue. And I got my sweet roll up there and that like little cup. I think they're called like tankers or whatever they're called. But yeah, a lot of like fun stuff up there. Some cool stuff that I liked from the game, and just some other stuff that very like iconic to the game. So I found some sticks outside, and that's another thing I've learned from like doing miniatures is that like you can use nature stuff, but you gotta like pop it in the toaster oven or the regular oven for a little bit just to dry everything out. You don't want any moisture in any of this stuff because it will like rot and turn like moldy and be bad. So yeah, you put everything in the oven for a little bit and you cook some sticks. It's kind of funny. But I just kind of cut these up into sizes where it looked like, you know, you could cut them. And I split them with my knife so it looks like they have been split with an axe. And then I can put a little glue on the bottom of this and stick it in the fireplace there.